Hello, hello. So, God just gave me a quick message, and it was very specific. He said that these people that have been coming against you, I've talked about in the past about one or two people in particular. Maybe it's a few people, like a handful of people, but the main couple perpetrators, especially the Lord is showing me one or two in particular, depending on your situation, are not happy. They are not happy. They haven't been happy for a long time. As we know, hurt people, as that old saying goes. So if they were truly happy and healthy and everything was just butterflies and roses, they wouldn't be trying to go against anybody, let alone you, right? Maybe at one time they had some leverage because maybe you were a different person before you were saved, just like you're now saved and you were a different person when you were in the world, but you've been since saved and now you're a different person now that you walk with the Lord. This person is still in the world. They're a different person because they walk in the world. And if they were to be saved, they would become a different person as well. So you had imperfect qualities and then you got saved and now you're a better person for it. They currently have imperfect qualities because they're still in the world. And if they get saved, they'll be a better person for it. But the Lord told me that these individuals are very lonely. They're depressed. They try to hide their depression. They have anxiety. They've had depression and anxiety and loneliness for pretty much their whole life. They try to pretend that things are good. It's a mask. Deep down inside, they feel lonely, they feel sad, they feel hurt, they feel unhealed, they feel depressed and anxious, but they pretend to the world when they go to work. When they're on social media like Facebook and TikTok, they pretend that or Instagram, the Lord's saying, they pretend that things are so good and their life is so great and everything, and it's not. And it hasn't been. And one of the main reasons why is because this person is unhealed from things that they've been going through in their life or have gone through. And there's only one true healer, and that is Father God and Lord Jesus Christ. Point blank, period. And the Lord allowed this person or people in particular to come up against you because not only did it push you into salvation and deliverance, which it did, but it is going to eventually push them into salvation and deliverance as well. And then the devil loses two people on his team. Now there's probably a gap between your salvation and their salvation. But this is the Lord's plan because the Lord does everything on purpose, right? With strategic purpose. And the Lord allowed them to come up against you because it pushed you into deliverance. But at this point now, you are not the same person. So if you had some toxic qualities in the past, you don't have those qualities anymore. If maybe you were unhealed as well, you're not unhealed anymore. If maybe it was easier to push you into anxiety or stress, you're not anxious or stressed anymore because of the fact that you walk with the Lord. And the Lord is saying that this person sees that there's a change in you, but their hatred and their unforgiveness and their just their own bitterness and resentment, things that are like their own poison. There's that saying, what is it? Is it unforgiveness is like trying to expect the other person for you to drink poison and expect the other person to die or something along those lines. And the Lord is saying that is for this person, as they are so fueled by the devil, whether they realize it or not. Could be intentional, could be unintentional, but either way, because they have such ill feelings towards you, that is what motivates them to go against you on a regular basis, even though the sacrifice is that they themselves will go without. So say for instance, they're lonely and want to have a partner, someone to spend their life with, but they're so jealous and envious and bitter towards you and resentful towards you that they don't want you to have a partner. They want you to be lonely and sad and all these different things that they themselves are, and they think that you are, because maybe it appears that way, but you're not, because you're saved by the Lord. So you're whole now, you're healed, and you're no longer in that zone because you walk with the Lord and the Lord fulfills you, right? But they don't understand that because they don't walk with the Lord. So therefore they think, well, I'm alone and I've made it so that they're alone. They used to be able to get partners, but I've went and spread rumors about them. I've spread lies about them. I've made them look bad. I've done witchcraft against them. I've done all these tactics to ensure that they don't have somebody come into their life. And even if someone tries to come into their life, I've tried to also simultaneously make it so that they won't go approaching anyone to come into their life. So therefore they think that you are lonely, and they believe that this mission is successful because from the outside looking in, it looks like you don't have somebody, so therefore mission successful. But what they don't understand is that the only reason that you're alone is because the Lord's still working on you. It's not time for you to have a partner yet. And when the time is right and your timing comes, the Lord will ensure that the right person comes for you. Because you're a child of God, the best is reserved for you. These people that you may be dating in your past, they think that this person that's coming against you thinks that they're keeping these people away from you. But in actuality, you would never entertain these people again. Like the person you are today, healed and saved and delivered, if you were to meet these people tomorrow, you wouldn't give them a second glance. And so this person thinks that they were successful at blocking and barricading people beneath you from coming into your life. And because they don't see anyone in your life or hear of anyone in your life, they think that they're accomplishing something. But the Lord is saying that you've leveled up so far that you're not even in these same people's realm, like category that they're in. Not even this person that's coming against you. And so you've always been better than this person. And again, this isn't a contest. I'm just saying this is what the Lord's told me. You've always been better than this person or people that come up against you. Always. And that in and of itself is what motivated and fueled them to come against you in the first place. They were jealous and envious and bitter against you from day one, even before you could have done anything to them or against them, just for the fact that they were filled by the devil. Therefore, they looked at you as less than, even though you were more than, because you were chosen, right? One sec. Sorry about that. You've always been a chosen one. You've always been a delegated child of God. God knew that you were going to be saved and delivered when you were saved and delivered, right? And so these people weren't crazy to think that you had special qualities that made them feel a type of way. It's because you did have special qualities. But you've been saved and delivered since their time that they used to share with you. And so they don't even know the type of person you are anymore. In some cases, the Lord is saying there's been distance and separation. Some cases it's been weeks or months. Some it's been years. And so they don't know, they're not in the same position regarding you as they once were. And you're not in the same position as yourself that you once were, right? So therefore, the tactics that maybe bore the Lord's saying a little bit of fruit in the past won't work today. And the only reason why the Lord allowed those tactics to bear any fruit at all whatsoever was because it was for your better good. It was to push you towards Him, which is exactly what's happened. But since you've been obedient and followed the breadcrumb trail, so to speak, and made your way to the Lord, and you've been saved and delivered by Him, and however long that's been, some people's case it's been weeks, months, years, the Lord has thwarted and stopped their attacks against you, right? But they still think, oh, well, this person's been single and alone for 1, 2, 3 years. I've obviously, made something shake. I've obviously made something move. But the Lord is saying, no, this whole 1, 2, 3 years that they've been going against you, the Lord used that as fuel for your vehicle to get you to where you need to go. If your vehicle is completely out of gas, it can't move one way or another. Can't go back, can't go forward, right? But if your vehicle does get filled with gas, you're not going to move backwards. You're going to go forwards, right? And so that's the thing, is the Lord allowed what these tactics were once upon a time to fill up your vehicle to move forward, which is exactly what's happened. And so now you've reached your destination. So when your vehicle is full of gas and you've finally reached your destination, there's nothing more left to do, And so this person could continue to siphon out the gas and do all these things, but you've already made it to the pre-planned destination. So therefore, there's no more rhyme or reason to do it, right? And so ultimately, it's just them going back in circles. But again, the Lord is purposeful. So the second part of this purpose and plan was for this person to eventually find salvation and deliverance. And so the Lord is saying that the difference between you and this person or people is that you, on the outside looking in, may look like you're lonely, or may look like you're alone, or may look like you're maybe poor, like struggling financially, or you know what I'm saying, like whatever it may be, something on the outside. And maybe these are some things that were different than how you were in the past, and so this is making this person or people think that this is bearing some fruit, or it has some bearing to it, and that's why they continue to do it, is because the devil has them in such a chokehold that they're so willing to go against you, even though they know that it's barring their chances. They're not happy, they're lonely, they're financially struggling. All the things that they're trying to do for you are the very things that they themselves go through. But the difference between you and them is that the Lord is on your side. So even if you're struggling financially, it's temporary, right? And the Lord will come through and provide for you like a friend, like a reliable source, like a father. If you're lonely, it's just temporary, because the Lord is working on you to be a better partner for a better partner down the road. You're going to attract better people and better quality partnerships and spouses and relationships than you would have chosen back when this person once knew you. Okay. And in order for you to meet the standard of that better person, you yourself have to be better. So maybe back in the day when this person was closer with you, say you were a 6 out of 10 and you would have settled for a 6 out of 10. But the Lord's making you to be a 9 or 10 out of 10. So therefore, you're only going to settle for a 9 or 10 out of 10. So these past people would have never made the cut, right? And if there wasn't such shiny qualities about you, what made this person feel so bitter and envious and resentful and jealous and frustrated from the beginning, from square one? It doesn't even make sense, right? It's because you had so the Lord's saying thieves don't rob empty houses. That's right, Lord. So that's right. You obviously had something of fruit and to offer, because this person chose from the very beginning, before you could have even done one or two things wrong, they already had grapes with you. And if in the past you had these imperfect qualities that caused you to maybe make waves with them or others, that just gave them all the more leverage. But they already had the plot and plan brewing underneath the scenes. They were just waiting for the opportunity. And then when perhaps you, because you were in the world like they are, you made some mistakes, they took that as their opportunity and jumped and ran on it. And this whole entire time, the devil's been riding them like Zorro. He's the one that made them, have an issue with you from the beginning, to choose you as their nemesis, to go after you, to do these tactics against you. And up until this morning, up until this very moment, up until tomorrow, like, it's the devil that's riding them. And if they know that, then okay, seek deliverance, and the Lord's going to work with them on it. And if they don't know that, then messages like this from myself and others will hopefully be a wake-up call to them, to hopefully see things for how they really are, right? It's either a revelation or it's a confirmation, always. But the Lord does have a twofold plan. The plan was to strengthen and make you a better person, which he's already accomplished, and have you attract a more stronger and better person as a partner. And so the Lord is on your side. So therefore he's working things out for your good, right? Like I say, if you struggle with loneliness at this time or have in the past, it's temporary, because it means that the Lord is just, work with the Lord, walk with him, and eventually it'll come to fruition, right, of where he wants you to be, and then you'll be ready for your partner, and then you as a person and your partner as a person and you two as a couple will blow out of the water whatever you or this person experienced in your past, because of the fact that you were saved and delivered by the Lord and walk with Jesus Christ, right? Whereas this person that's been going against you, they're going to have to go through the very same things you did. They're going to have to go through salvation and deliverance steps to become better and to achieve what they need and want in life, right? The Lord is telling me that he has somebody for this person, right? This person or people, put it where it fits, but he has somebody for them. He has blessings for them. They could own their own home one day. They could own their own business one day. They could, be financially sound one day, where they don't have to work. Maybe they work and they work a lot and they wish they didn't have to work so much. They're getting older. Well, retirement could be around the corner for them. There's lots of things in store for this person, these people that choose to come against you. But unfortunately, the more that they choose to continuously come against you, not only are they sloughing off their own blessings and what the Lord has for them, but they're just going around in circles, right? So the Lord is saying that if he has the chance and opportunity to save and deliver this person like he saved and delivered you, that then the very same outcome can be for them as for you, where he can work on them over time as well to become a better person, to heal these unhealed wounds, these traumas and things. And then they too can attract a better partner, because the Lord is saying, the Lord wants me to express this in numbers because it's the easiest way to explain. So like I said, in the past, before you were saved and delivered, you were just say a 6 out of 10 as an overall person. And the people you were attracting were, say, maybe a 5 or 6 out of 10 as well. Okay? This person at that time, these person and people that are coming against you were also, say, a 5 or 6 out of 10. So therefore, they felt like they had some common ground with you to be able to do what they were doing against you, right? So therefore, kind of everyone's on an equal playing field, so to speak, right? And that granted these person or people leverage, all right? But since then, you've been saved and delivered, which has elevated you from that 6 out of 10 as a person to more like a 9 or 10 out of 10 as a person. So therefore, these 6 out of 10 partners that you were, and friendships, okay, the Lord's saying friendships. So partners and friendships that you would have settled for in the past, because at that time, y'all were on the same level playing field, they're beneath you. So you couldn't go get with them even if you wanted to. You don't want to, but even if you did want to, the Lord will not allow it. He won't give you any interest in them. He won't let you all converse. It just won't come into your, into your orbit, right? At all. Meanwhile, this person and people that have been coming against you, they're still a 6 out of 10. Okay? So nothing has changed on these people from the past. They're all still on the same wavelength. That's why they all still conglomerate together, is because, that saying, lay down with dogs, wake up with fleas, right? They all can lay down and wake up with fleas together because they're in the same pile mixed together, but you're not there anymore and you haven't been there in a long time, right? So these people are going off of old you. They don't even know who you are these days. Not these past friends or partners, and not these people that choose to come against you that you once dealt with, okay? So you've been elevated and raised up. The Lord wants to raise up this person eventually. If the Lord had it his way, he'd raise up all your ex-friends and partners and these people that come against you. But the Lord understands that not every single person is going to come towards him, right? Because Satan has his children too, as we already know. And Satan will do whatever he can to prevent that from happening, right? But we do have a choice. I just want to say. So the Lord would like to elevate and level up these people, but only because they have free will choice, if they choose to do so. It doesn't come for free. In return for choosing to do so, they're going to have to be saved and delivered. And that looks like a lot of the rigmaroles that they put you through, they're going to have to go through too. Because they think that they caused this, that, and the third for you. But in reality, it was the Lord allowing and causing this, that, and the third, because the Lord wanted you to go through such things so that you could become the healed, new, and improved version of who you are now, right? And so these are the prerequisites that these people will also have to go through. So if this person wanted you to jump through 10 hoops and the Lord allowed you to jump through 10 hoops, you jump through these 10 hoops. These people think that they caused you to jump through the 10 hoops. But in reality, it was the Lord that allowed you to jump through the 10 hoops because it was for your better good in the end, right? And now here we are today. You've already jumped through the 10 hoops, and so you're done. You've already passed the testing of what was required, right? These people that come against you, and this person in particular, they will also have to jump through the very same 10 hoops. And the Lord is saying actually maybe more, maybe 15 or 20 hoops, right? To get to where you're at. And so the choice is theirs. Yeah, it's going to take a lot of work and stuff and a lot of changes and sacrifices, but if they do it, they too will be elevated and be able to find a partner that's elevated as well and receive these blessings that the Lord has held up for them, right? But if they choose not to do it, they don't have to do it, of course. We all have choice. But if they don't do it, they're going to continue to go around in circles, watch you elevate and raise up and find that partner and move on with life. And they're going to be the ones that are stuck still after all these years of their life, miserable, anxious, stressed out, depressed, and lonely, right? Do you see? So you're better off to just walk with the Lord. And that's the choice you made. This person or people allowed the devil to get so into them that were willing to lose their hand so you could lose a finger, if that makes sense. That's how the Lord was showing it to me. So in reality, what would you rather be without if I gave you a choice? Would you rather lose your hand, your whole entire hand, all 5 fingers and palm, your whole hand, or just one finger? I know I would rather lose a finger, right? Well, the Lord is saying that this person and people, they don't realize it, but because they made a deal with the devil, it meant losing their whole entire hand just so you could lose a finger. But when it's all said and done, they're going to be without that hand, and the Lord is going to replace that finger. I know that sounds like a really weird example analogy, but that's how the Lord was explaining it to me. And so they didn't accomplish anything, but they feel like they did because they're hearing through the grapevine that you're still maybe struggling with finances, or that you still don't have a partner or something, and they're still taking the credit for this, thinking that this is all due to their workings or whatever, that whatever manipulations that they do. But the Lord is saying they've never ever gotten anything they tried to get off the ground, never got off the ground. The only reason why it seemed or appeared that way was because the Lord blew on it and let it gave it the air that it got off the ground to do. Nothing happens without the Lord's okay first. And so long story short, the Lord is saying this person or people that have been coming against you, they themselves are lonely, depressed, stressed, sad, etc. And they're trying to come off and appear and look like as if they're not. But in actuality, behind the scenes, they 100% truly are. On a scale of 1 to 10, 0 being the most miserable and 10 being the most happy, these people are like a 1 or a 2. And you, on a scale, same scale, 0 being the worst, 10 being the best, you're like an 8 or 9 for fulfillment. So they're floating at as 1 to 2 on the fulfillment scale, but truly behind the scenes. And behind the scenes, you're floating at an 8 or 9 out of 10, okay? So it appears on the outside like your fulfillment is a 1, but in reality, behind the scenes, it's a 9, okay? These people, it looks like on the front their fulfillment is a 9, but in reality, behind the scenes, it's a 1. So the Lord really wanted to really showcase this to me, and wanted me to showcase this in this word, is that these people, it may look like everything is 9 out of 10, but the Lord is sending me to say, rest assured it's not. It's really, truly a 1 or 2. They're just putting on appearances. And it may appear to others, like including these people, that you are a 1 or 2. It's the switcheroo, that you're the 1 or 2 out of 10, but in actuality, behind the scenes, you're actually an 8 or 9 out of 10. Okay, that's the real truth. And the difference being is because you walk with Father God, Lord Jesus, right? And they don't. And they're being chokeholded by the devil and you're not. And that as long as these dynamics stay the same, as long as they continue to be in the devil's chokehold, they're going to continue to stay around a 1 or 2. And as long as you walk with the Lord, you're going to continue to stay at an 8 or 9. They may try to switch these things and think that they have, but they haven't. It's never going to switch. Because one person walks with the Lord and there's a reward in that, and that is the reward that you have internally. And then also if someone walks with or works with the devil, there's a reward for that too. And that's the reward that they're currently living in at this time. And so just to try to see you lonely or miserable or down or in, unfulfilled way, they were willing to sacrifice their own blessings, their own fulfillments, their own better opportunities down the road that the Lord had for them. And they think that maybe they try to tell them, because they're still in that same position, but they try to tell themselves that they've really accomplished something here. And they're trying to ease themselves and coax themselves by things that they maybe are seeing or hearing from the outside perspective. But the Lord is saying that in reality, none of these assumptions or appearances or whatever are really the true heart of the matter, just like in how in their case their appearances aren't truly the heart of the matter, right? So you know that saying, appearances can be deceiving, don't judge a book by its cover. And so their cover looks glossy and shiny and good, but the content and material inside is not that. And then they think that your outside exterior cover looks unfulfilled, this, that, and the third, but in reality, the material and content inside is not that. And that's why it's important to not judge a book by its cover and make assumptions, is because appearances can be deceiving. Sometimes things that look good aren't good inside, and then sometimes things that don't look so good on the outside are actually really good inside, okay? So these person or people are putting up this really good outside appearance, but inside, everything behind the scenes is not what it appears to be. And the opposite is true for you, right? It may not look like it's shiny, it may look like this, that, and the third, but deep down inside, it's not like that at all. It's actually better than it appears to be. And this is the Lord's plan. This is why the Lord allowed them to go through and do this. And then he gave you the choice to be saved and delivered. You took the chance and choice to be, and here you are now. They have the same choice and chance offered to them, and it's up to them to take it or not. But the Lord is saying that his plan is for you to be fulfilled and happy and blessed. And his plan is also for these people to be fulfilled, happy, and blessed. But you're on your way to it because the Lord is on your side and working in your favor. These people, however, are not on the way to it. They're every day that they try to come up against you, they actually get further and further from it, because God isn't going to bless anyone on the planet that tries to intentionally go against somebody, and especially not someone that intentionally tries to go against one of his children who have been saved and delivered and walk with him on a daily basis. So anyways, I'm going to cut the word short there. I have to make dinner and get a few things done. So yeah, it's nice to be back. The Lord's been having me rest for a while, but he sent me with this word tonight. So it must, be important for somebody to come across when the Lord finds it in his timing and in his will. And I know that those who have ears to hear will hear, and it'll come across the right ones at the right time. Again, let it be either revelation for some or a confirmation for others. I hope it finds you well. Take care, and God bless.